Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be reviewing the Champion Amiibos which were released back on November of 2017. Now, these Amiibos are basically the ones that we see in the memories, or the memory cutscenes that we see in Breath of the Wild 2, that being Daruk, Mipha, Bosu, and Rivali. Now, these Champion Amiibos work a bit differently from the other Amiibos, like the Link one, Zelda one, Kirby one, and a lot of the other ones, because with the Champion Amiibos, they basically give Link the helms from the different Divine Beasts. So, Urbosa's Amiibo gives you the helm from Varnaboris, Daruk from Varodania, etc., etc. And yeah, so to start off with, the Mipha Amiibo, I think this is a really cool looking one because, all of these amiibos are based, I think, from their poses you see, I think, from the Champion's Ballad or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, to start off with, Mipha's one looks quite interesting. I do like how, I like how the way that she's holding a trident. I think that's a really interesting way of holding it, and it's a really cool looking way of. I think it's an interesting looking amiibo. I think, it's really fun. It's not. I don't think it's my all time personal favorite. I think it's probably second or third, maybe, depending on how I'm feeling. And yeah, I think the way that she's just posing, I think that's a quite interesting way of her amiibo. So yeah. So the second one is Bosu's amiibo. Now, I think this is really cool. I think, again, like with Mipha's one, this is like my second or third favorite, depending on how I'm feeling. And yeah, I do like the way that champion garb thing is kind of like swishing to the side here. I think it's quite interesting, and I do like this sort of like pose that she's doing. Like, it's kind of like sort of like intimidating, and I think for like style as well. I think that's quite interesting, and yeah, and I do like how you can see her shield on the back, like here. Part of it's covered up by her hair, which I think is really cool, and yeah, I think for her whole pose sort of thing, I think she's really cool. It's just there for style, and I think that's a very opposite thing to do. And again, I do like how the way that her champion's garb kind of swishes, kind of like again for style. I think it's quite cool, and yeah, I think this is a very interesting looking amiibo, and I think it's really cool. And also her sword is kind of like you can kind of like move it a bit, but I wasn't just doing it because you could possibly break it as well as part of the amiibo as well. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest doing something like that. So yeah. Next up is Rivali's amiibo, and I've got to say this is probably like a really, and it's okay, I guess. I think it's probably, I would say, a bland kind of pose. I would say he will be doing, because it's just, I don't know, it feels kind of bland. I would say, just I think it's because it's Rivali, and if you played the game, he's a bit of an asshole. But yeah, I would say it's okay, I guess. Again, like with Bose's Amiibo Champion's Garb, Rivali's one kind of swishes in the air, kind of, and I kind of like the way he's holding his bow, kind of, if like that. And I do like how how he's got a bit of champion garb on his bow. I think that's quite interesting, and I think it's quite cool. But apart from that, I think it's quite bland. I would say, just it's not my personal favorite. I think it's just okay. It's not the best. I think it's just, yeah. And finally, we are on Daruk's. Now, I would say Daruk's one is probably my favorite one, just because I think Daruk is probably my favorite champion out of all of the other four, or out of all the other three. And yeah, because I quite like the Gormons and stuff like that. And yeah, and I do. I think I think it's just this goofy grin that I like about him. I think it's just really goofy and funny, and yeah, I think the whole Champion's garb thing, I think it suits him quite well the way he's wearing it. Like especially around with the chain here, the Goron chain he has, and I do like the way he's holding his weapon, his cobblestone crasher. I think I'm not 100%. I don't 100% remember, but I do like the way he's holding it and he's just posing, just laughing with this big goofy grin and stuff like that. And I think and yeah, and he's probably like the largest one out of the other three, just because he's got a Goron, and Gorons are like the size of boulders and stuff like that. So yeah, and yeah, I think that Daruk's one is probably the cool. It's probably my favorite one overall out of the other three Champion Amiibos and stuff like that. So yeah, so overall, I would say that the Champion Amiibos are fun. I think when you do use them, you do get some quite good stuff, like the Champion Hounds. But the only way you can kind of use them to get the Champion Hounds is when you've beaten one of the Divine Beasts, which I think is good because then you won't have to beat all the Divine Beasts that to then get um, the helms. So yeah, so overall, I would say that the Champion Amiibos are fun. If you want to get them, they are quite expensive because like I think in one set, if you want to get all of them, they are quite expensive. I think £50 or around £50. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so if you want to get them, make sure or just I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where like if I have like a game, then I'll have it suggestive. It's like if it's a good game, but with the Champion Amiibos, I do suggest if you want to get the helms to see what they can do and see what they look like on Link, then if you want to, then go ahead and buy them if you want. But if you don't want them they're too expensive or something, then obviously don't get them. That's your personal choice. So yeah. So that's been my review for the Champion Amiibo. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.